Hello everyone!
Welcome to our presentation. Today we're going to be talking about what kind of student has higher self-esteem, specifically on the San Diego State University campus. My name's Morgan McNulty.
My name is Savannah Lopez Urias.
My name is Daria Garcia.
And my name is Alex Villanueva.
So our study collected data from adults currently studying at San Diego State University as students during the fall semester of 2023. Our survey was administered through Google Forms and was sent out for 2 weeks from November 14th, 2023 to November 29th, 2023. We recruited participants by texting our friends and our peers the link to the questionnaire. We also sent our link out in our class GroupMes, and one group member also posted the link to their Instagram story. The participants consisted of friends, peers, classmates, and coworkers of the students researching. Our socio-demographic questions included 5 broad open-ended questions that could be answered in detail and 6 closed-ended questions that asked respondents to choose from a set of predefined responses. The scale we used was the Rosenberg Self-Esteem Scale, which was utilized in this research project to measure the dependent variable, which supplied the study's results. We acquired 40 responses for our survey, but 3 responses were voided due to free response questions being filled out incorrectly. So in total, 37 responses were approved to analyze.
Figure 1 outlines the relationship between self-esteem and age. One participant, age 46, had a moderate self-esteem. All ages except 46 received a higher score for high self-esteem.
Figure 2 outlines the relationship between self-esteem and sexuality. The one participant who reported being queer had the results of having high self-esteem. Heterosexual/straight and bisexual participants were split 50-50 between having moderate self-esteem and high self-esteem.
Figure 3 outlines the relationship between self-esteem and religion. The participant who answered Christianity/Catholicism/Astro reported having moderate self-esteem, while the participant who answered Christianity/Agnostic reported having high self-esteem.
Figure 4 outlines the relationship between self-esteem and race. Participants with 2 or more races had a higher percentage of high self-esteem than moderate self-esteem. Students who identified as Asian had a higher percentage in moderate self-esteem than high self-esteem.
Figure 5 outlines the relationship between self-esteem and language. We noticed that people who are more comfortable speaking Spanish had a higher percentage in high self-esteem, while English and English/Spanish speakers had an even distribution between moderate self-esteem and high self-esteem.
Figure 6 outlines the relationship between self-esteem and sex. We noticed that males had an overall higher percentage in moderate self-esteem, while females had an overall higher percentage in high self-esteem.
Figure 7 outlines the relationship between self-esteem and ethnicity. We noticed there wasn't a very strong correlation between self-esteem and ethnicity, but non-Hispanic students have a slightly higher percentage in high self-esteem than moderate self-esteem, while Hispanic students were evenly split between high self-esteem and moderate self-esteem.
Figure 8 outlines the relationship between self-esteem and grade level. There was one graduate student who scored a higher percentage of moderate self-esteem. However, this is the only graduate student that we surveyed, so this is not sufficient evidence. 4th-year students were the second highest in the moderate self-esteem category. 2nd-year students were the highest scoring in the high self-esteem category.
Figure 9 outlines the relationship between self-esteem and employment status. We noticed that full-time students had a higher percentage in high self-esteem rather than moderate self-esteem, while unemployed students had a higher percentage in moderate self-esteem than high self-esteem.
Figure 10 outlines the relationship between self-esteem and children. Students with no children had an even split between moderate self-esteem and high self-esteem, and our one participant with children resulted in high self-esteem.
Figure 11 shows a relationship between self-esteem and marital status. We noticed that students who had responded never married had an almost even split between moderate self-esteem and high self-esteem, but a slightly larger percentage fell in high self-esteem. Our one participant who answered single resulted in moderate self-esteem.
Overall, conducting a survey online was beneficial because we could create a link and send it to as many people that fit the criteria. We noticed in our findings that none of the students we surveyed resulted in low self-esteem. But the data from our questionnaire does not provide a representative sample of the general population of college students because our sample size is minimal.
Thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed the findings of our research project and learned something new. That concludes our presentation.